Hi friend, this video is for you if you've ever known exactly what you need to do to move your business forward, but struggled to actually do it. And the reason I'm making this video today is a couple days ago I was talking with a client who's struggling with exactly that. She knows that she only has like 3 steps that she needs to take to hit her next goal. But for some reason, she is absolutely paralyzed. And what this is really representing is the movement from the known into the unknown, which inevitably triggers fear. And until you have a system to really deal with this can plague your entrepreneurial path. And it sabotages many people's paths as entrepreneurs because ultimately goals that could be reached in like a day, a week, a month, take months or years when this is something you're really struggling with. And what happens when we move from the known into the unknown is our survival response is triggered. So we either fight, and in entrepreneurship, this looks like that pushing and grinding and working with no pleasure and no real results. This looks like flight in entrepreneurship, doing too many drugs, too much alcohol, too many vacations, too much TV, any escapism behavior, freeze, staring at a to-do list and doing nothing, or fawn, relying on external validation and direction to see any progression in your business. So how do we deal with this? And what should your goal be when it comes to dealing with fear in business? Well, one, you need to understand the fear. You need to understand that this fear is not your enemy. It's trying to protect you. It was programmed into you for situations like being chased by a bear or drowning, stuff like that. But it still applies today, even when we're not in these deadly situations. And what that looks like today is that our brain fears an unknown outcome more so than it fears the negative consequences to staying right where we are in the known. So 2, you need to find the cause behind that fear. Maybe it's a past experience. Maybe you failed a test or tried to start a lemonade stand that didn't go too well. And now you think that every business you'll ever start will fail. 3, you need to question that fear. You need to ask, is there any evidence that this past experience will determine my current or future experiences? And you need to counteract that past negative experience with a past experience in which you have overcome uncertainty and conquered the unknown. 4, you need to accept failure as a possibility. You need to be okay with it, and you also need to change your perception around failure. You need to start seeing failures and mistakes as lessons on the path to your greater success. 5, feel the fear, and this is so important because too many people bury and suppress their negative emotions, and what that leads to is those negative emotions compounding over time. So each time you are triggered, they build on each other. The great thing about emotion, especially negative emotion, is once you accept it and acknowledge it, it tends to dissipate. Once you realize that the fear is not a reality, that it's not what's going on in your head and what you're imagining around it, it's actually a sensation in your body. Usually I feel it in my chest, in my upper back, sometimes in my lower back and hips. Once you realize that, there are very practical ways that you can move through it and actually process that fear, like exercise, breath work, and meditation. Now, ultimately, your goal in dealing with this fear and dealing with the survival response in your business should be exposure. Because the more times you're exposed to it and the more times you implement these tactics for processing it that I just mentioned, the easier it will be to embrace failure as change and lessons and feel the fear and move and go into the unknown and do things anyway. Once you do this, you'll realize that every single time it's never as bad as your brain makes it out to be. I hope this video blessed you. Like and save for a future reminder, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah!